Do you see that cable right there? Does that look electric? And does this look like a Jeep? And have you never thought of Jeep in that capacity? Well, most people haven't, but this is a Jeep 4xe. And right now it's pretty darn warm outside and you don't hear the engine, but you know what it is doing? It's cooling it off so we can take a look. Once again, we are here with Dylan. What's happening, my man? This guy's awesome. Oh man, every time I ask him to crawl on a vehicle, he's like, let's do it. And this is something that I've been wanting to check out for a long time because these are kind of hard to get right now. And it's really got some cool features because you can run this on gas, you can run it on electric, or you could do a hybrid. And as I say right now, it's cooling itself off for us before we even get in. So let's hop in, shall we, and take a look at some of the features and drive this. I can't wait to try it. So before we drive it, obviously we got to unplug it, which brings up one of my first questions. What are my charging options on this Jeep if I bought this and I went home today? Because I don't have one of those over there. And what is that?
That is one of our level 2 chargers. It's going to charge these from 0 to 100% in about 2 hours. Okay. The other option you have is the charger that comes with it that you can plug into any 110 outlet at your house. It charges from 0 to 100% in 10 to 12 hours. Okay, so that's like an overnight charge. So what you're telling me is if I was going to plug this in somewhere, most of those are the high capacity and we're looking at a couple hours on a road trip? Cool. 2 hours if it's completely drained. Ooh, which brings into question the range. Let's hop in this and take a look, shall we? Let's hop on in and see what it's like in here. Okay. All right, we're inside. Oh, we should probably buckle up. Of course we should buckle up. Always buckle up. Okay, now that we've buckled up, what do we do here? I got a lot of different gauges, but
so go ahead and just start this like normal. Put your foot on the brake and hit the start button.
We are on run.
It's in battery mode right now, so it's running.
I hear nothing. That's crazy. And there's our cooling. Oh, nice.
Instant.
So I drive around for work a lot, and what often happens is I have to take 1-2 hours of phone calls or more. I'm sitting in my vehicle, and it gets pretty darn warm. So what do? You roll down the windows until you sweat too much, and then you start it up and you cool it off. But this I really love because I could be cooling myself and not have it running. So that's a double benefit. Not only can I drive and bypass the gas station, but I could just cool myself with the battery. So let's talk a little bit about range. I mean, I got a bunch of gauges here. There's all sorts of fun stuff to do. Where should we even start?
Let's start, I guess, on the left.
Okay,
work our way to the
I like
right.
it.
I'm gonna get unbuckled so I can actually see these.
So obviously we got our RPMs. We got, now does that not do anything when it's on electric? That's a good question. Okay,
that's why it's saying ready.
Let's see here. There we go. So not select. Okay, so that's, oh, I got it. So that stays in 0 and then it's ready, which I see my options over here. I guess we should, since we're starting from this way, which is hybrid, electric. Those are obvious. What is e-save?
E-save is if you're gonna wanna save that electric power for when you get to a destination. If
That actually makes
sense. Off-road, go wheeling, go on hunting, or you just want to save it for any other reason.
That's actually a pretty straightforward way to name it. I was thinking e-save stood for something else, but it really just means save your electricity. Okay, cool. I can dig that. Okay, then we've got our average miles per gallon right here. We've got range. Now, I see two things here. I see a battery up here that says 27 miles, and I see something down below with the gas gauge that says 60, and the range is 87. So does that mean that the combined range between the two is 87? Is that what I'm reading there?
That is correct.
That's pretty neat. I like that. That's kind of clever. It gives you the range of both. How far I've got electric. Now it's 27 miles. This, when we were just charging this, which we'll show you this later, this got this really cool charging light here that each lights up. What is it? 20%? 20, 40, 60, 800? That would be correct. So you can see this inside and outside. But if it's fully charged, because it's not quite fully charged right now, right?
Yes.
So if we're gonna just charge this and go, what's our range?
30 miles.
30 miles. And an important question, I think, for me is if I'm doing this and I'm running it in the hybrid motor just off the engine, does it charge the battery?
Yes. Anytime that engine's running, it's charging the battery.
And it's probably, I'm sure, gathering it from kinetic energy, braking.
That's another option over here. When you click this on, you'll see it pop up on there. Max regeneration is regenerative braking. So it uses
that's cool.
Use the motors as a generator.
Okay, I like that. And this gauge here, obviously that's our fuel gauge. That's pretty straightforward. Here, it looks like this goes either direction. Is this the power that the motors are using, and then or the power it's charging? Is that what I'm seeing there?
Yes. Right now it's on 0, so that's the output or input of the battery charge. Right now it's at 0. If we started driving around, as you get on the pedal, instead of an RPM gauge, you're gonna see the percentage of power.
That's cool. So you see battery moving over here and RPM's over there. I love gauges, and that's like double fun. Well, we have to drive this. I mean, we have to, because we have to see what it's like. Because I still can't believe right now it's cooling us off, but nothing's running. I mean, it's running, but it's not running. Now, do you know that, so I might as well address this, the 19.6 average, has this been driven much, and is that like the average, what is the miles per gallon on this that you could, if you're in hybrid? Because obviously if you're in electric,
they give a average total combined of 49 miles a gallon is the average that they advertise. But for the sake of this, we can also just reset it.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, because this just came off the truck, so it's just being moved around a little bit. So this is like brand new, which I should say is also a 2022 model, which you probably guessed, but we should say that 4xe 2020. Okay, there we go. So we'll just drive it and we'll see. Okay, this is kind of exciting to me right now because I gotta move the seat up a little bit. My legs aren't that long. Okay, you ready for this? So we are in hybrid. Should I put electric only?
Sure. You haven't driven it that way, so
no.
That's most fun.
Okay, electric only. All right, we are now in electric, and we're gonna put this in reverse. I didn't even feel anything yet. That is so awesome. Boy, Jeep sure have a nice sharp backup line here. Oh, there's a FedEx. We got to get out of his way. He has important packages to deliver. He doesn't have time for this. Okay, we're back in drive. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. We'll put a little, which way should we go here?
Take a right.
Let's take a right. Let's do it. Out in the wild.
Go down this and feel free to use that pedal and...
Did you hear just what he said? Oh my God. I didn't expect that. Okay, that's pretty, all right. Hold on, we gotta do that again. Oh my goodness. What are we in here? This is great. Okay, 0, here we go.
There's your power gauge going up. You're using 100%.
Oh my word. That is crisp. That is fun. And there's no sound in a Jeep. Who would have ever thought it? I don't think that many people still think it. Okay, so if we're driving along and I want to switch just to hybrid right now, I could just hit the button down here.
Yep. Motor.
And there's our RPMs. I just heard that. Barely. Oh yeah, this is cool. Okay, see, there's a charge. I just did a little braking around this corner, and there was the charge. That is fun to watch. Now,
flip a Yui.
Okay, we're gonna. Oh yes, because you know me. If you watch this channel, turning ratio is really big to me. Oh, I love it. Oh, look at that. That was nothing. I actually had to back off on the steering. All right, U-turns, no problem whatsoever. You need just like 2 lanes or turn.
Right now the engine's running, so that's why on the battery.
Okay,
right now the battery's assisting, and if you go ahead and hit the throttle pretty good and the engine kicks on, you'll see the power delivery between both. But right now it says negative 57 because you're charging. If I turn on your regenerative braking and you let off it's going to help slow you down, and right now it's...
Oh, totally. Yeah, you can absolutely feel that. That's like, it's like engine braking, except even better because it's recharging the battery. I mean, engine braking is cool all on its own because instead of your brakes, it's just using the resistance on the engine without any extra fuel, right? So it's just pulling it back, but that is so cool.
Every one of the motors, if you spin a motor,
oh my gosh,
or make it work against itself, it's just a generator.
It's just a generator. Wow, it really brakes hard. Like, it definitely feels like I'm putting the brakes on.
With these, you can get, once you get comfortable with it and you drive it often enough, we call it one pedal driving. You won't really need to use your brake pedal as often.
I get that.
It takes a little bit of a learning curve.
So the way I would describe that is normally when you let off your throttle, you move over to the brake, and then you apply some gentle braking. It's almost like on this one, the last little 10% or so of the throttle is your brake. So it's almost like you use that in a bit of a braking. I could absolutely see that. This being a Jeep, I personally am interested, and I think you might be too, in how well this shifts into four-wheel drive and what do the electric motors do for you? Is there any limitations and things like that? So I think we're gonna flip around right here because I like how sharp this turns, and we're gonna see if there's a U-turn right here. So we're pulled over. This is gonna be tight now. I don't know if it's gonna make this. That's pretty darn tight. Oh my gosh, is it seriously gonna make this? What?
You did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was pretty close, but we did. Okay, so let's talk about shifting into four-wheel drive. And I'm just an electric. Do I have any limitations or changes when I'm shifting into four-wheel drive? And what does that do?
Nothing at all. Right now, you can shift into 4 auto, which is gonna sense, it's gonna tell where to give the power.
Oh,
it shows where your power right now is going. But I can also just lock it into 4.
Really?
Like right now, while we're driving, and you see where your power is going to all 4 wheels.
Man, I didn't even feel that. That was ultra smooth.
And right back into 2 high.
That actually is pretty impressive because lots of times you feel it lock, unlock, and I mean, that's just normal, right? So that was really cool.
It's going to be a little too sluggish. It's like, oh, it'll give the engine assist. That way it's doing exactly what you're wanting it to do.
I like it. It did not feel sluggish at all. What I want to try to do now is see if we can get you, it wouldn't be a bird's eye view, but it'd be like a seat underneath the hood. So let's pop this open. And you know what? This would be a great time while we're out here too, because this is something unique, isn't it, Dylan, on these?
Yes,
this is blue color.
It's going to be on your tow hooks.
That's all, the lights up here, which we'll show you. That's also blue. And then we got badging here.
Is still a trail rated Jeep. It's gone through all those trials.
That is really cool. What does that mean? Let's talk about that when we get back in, but what does that mean when you go through the trials, right? Because
these things have made it through the testing grounds and all the different trails, Sierra Nevadas and Nevada mountain ranges. They've been put to the test. Not this particular one, but they take
But this model, so at least you don't just get badging that means nothing. Okay, let's open this up. Okay, so it's still a 2.0.
Turbocharged 2.0.
Nice. They didn't take away any capabilities with my turbo. All right. Look at all this. That's a lot of stuff in here. We're going back to plug this in because then I want to take a look at where the battery is. And I just want to kind of get a feel for that. So let's run it back and then we'll take a look at battery location. Okay, we're back. So we're going to plug this baby in, which is this like, how does that open? Is it a press it?
It's a press it.
Oh, piece of cake.
Pull that off. Go ahead and stick that in there.
Oh,
it's very
to do
simple.
it. Okay.
Just, it clicks, and then you're going to see the status lights, and then it's going to go red, green, blue. Oh, charging.
Okay, beautiful. Now they should be able to see. It's going to be really bright,
but a little tough. But
can you see that? See that flashing in there? I think you can. It's at the last one because it's mostly full. So, yeah, I think you can. I think we talked about the ability to plug this in and then have it set when you start charging. So is it the type of thing where you could actually plug it, you just plug it in, you program it so it's consistent, like, and then you just, okay, that's a piece of cake.
You can do it off the head unit or off your phone with Uconnect. You can tell it what hours to actually charge. If it's off-peak hours where there's cheaper electricity.
Phone. I like that. That's cool. So where is the battery? Where does this magic happen?
Everything looks normal.
Everything does look normal back here. Except for now, it's not looking so normal. Let's go to the other side where we can see this a little bit better. Whoa.
All completely sealed, and they're heated and cooled.
These? Really? Wow, yeah, you didn't even know they're under the seat, so you don't have any under seat storage, but I mean, there's a lot of storage back here still. And of course, that's not exactly why we're doing this. We're doing, oh, I'm so dark. There we go. We're doing this for the ability to save on fuel or a variety of other reasons, depending on the person. So, all right, so this folds forward. Okay, awesome.
And these seats still do fold flat.
Nice for your extra storage. I was just thinking about something. If you have that plugged in, obviously it's right here by the driver's side, so it's pretty obvious, but maybe you're super distracted and you're juggling kids or whatever, and you hop in. I'm wondering, does that give you a warning? Let's see what happens. I'm hopping in. I've got slushies for everybody. I'm ready to go, but it says plugged in there. What happens if we start it though? Oh, okay, there's two cool things. There's a Sierra logo. Let's turn the fan down. and it shows me a cord right there. So you do get a heads up, and it says it's charging, so you get a couple heads up. Oh, and then my temperature gauge is worth because it actually is the motor. All right, that's cool. I like safety features when it means I don't drive off and do something stupid.
I don't think it's on.
And it won't even start?
It also shows you're fully charging.
Nope, it won't even start. Well, that's about as safe as it gets. Yeah.
You got gauges all the way down too.
Gauges all the way down, okay, nice. Okay, something that just happened is I just climbed out of here, but I'm just walking away and Dale's like, hey, you gotta turn it off. I guess you gotta get used to a few things with this electric because you don't even know it's running. I didn't even know, I just hopped out. There's no keys in there, right? Oh, that's pretty neat. One thing on the way out that got mentioned that this is really important. I was so excited to go over all the features I forgot to talk about, and that's a tax credit, because when you buy one of these, you get a federal tax credit, right? And how much is that?
$7,500.
That's a noticeable amount, and I believe even some states have those. You have to check with your state, right? Because they vary state to state, but that's a pretty noticeable amount. I mean, I would get excited if you took off $500 or $1,000, but you take off $7,500. Come on, yeah. So there you go. Look at this little Easter egg I just found right here. It's a cute little Jeep. It's blue. That's pretty cool. That's fun. And there are more. There's Jeeps climbing around the windshields and all sorts of places inside you can check out. It's pretty fun. But I just noticed that one. That's the first time I've seen it on the rims. So I don't know about you, but I really dig this. I would love to drive one of these around. And you know, I'd love to do like avoid the gas station. And you really could, depending on your commute. But even if it was longer than the range, right, you could just grab one, you could just keep going. Because once you switch over to the engine, it actually charges your battery. So you can charge it for the way back. I love it. So these are pretty hard to come by right now. I mean, most places don't have these. So you guys got one of these. And like I always ask, you guys will ship anywhere? Anybody needs to see this anywhere, they'll ship it to you. But it does go pretty quick. You get them in occasionally though, right?
I've seen a few in the last 6 months, but I think it's 2.
So if somebody wanted one, 2. So could they get on a waiting list? Like could they say, hey, I want that? Or do you guys do things like that? That's what I'm talking about. Once again, we'll put this man's description down below. But this is the 4xe Jeep Wrangler. I love it. I hope you liked it. We did one on the Extreme Recon. Extreme Recon. I always wanted the Extreme Rubicon, but that's not. But the Extreme Recon, that's the first time Jeep sent out one with a factory lift and 35s on it. It's really cool. We'll put a link in that one as well at the end. You know, thank you so much, man. We absolutely appreciate it. This man's so good about letting us climb around stuff. There you go. That's a Jeep. Coming up next, we've got another one. Doesn't Jeep, this is a little teaser, aren't they coming out with a new model? It's not on the Wranglers. What is it? It's on something.
There is a Grand Cherokee 4xe.
There is?
Grand Cherokee that's the same drivetrain as this coming out. We haven't gotten one.
Oh, that's what it is. Well, we're going to have to check that out. You're going to let us in on it, right? All of us here, we want in on it. Yep. Okay, cool. It's good to have connections, isn't it? All right. We're going to, and again, just in case you didn't remember, this is the Finley Boys down here in Post Falls, Idaho. Beautiful. I like to call it upstate Idaho because it sounds fancier than North Idaho. It's like upstate New York. Why don't we get an upstate like that? All right. Have a great rest of the day. On behalf of Moore's Mrs. Uncle Jake, taking you out the fist bump of friendship. Whoop-ow. Hey, we're celebrating. I'm making up words now. Success and celebrating. You didn't know this, but it's called, now I forgot it. Celebrating. Anyways.
Upstate Idaho.
Upstate Idaho. Do it. And cut.